Hello everybody, in this video we're looking at the best Hunter Subclass builds for Trials of Osiris. Looking at Blade Dancer first. For grenades, the most reliable grenade for the Blade Dancer would have to be the Arc Bolt grenade. Skip grenade, it's not great, and then Flux grenade, it's probably one of the worst grenades for actually getting it to correctly attach to enemies. Jump. Obviously higher jump is nice, but blink is actually great for just being disorienting and confusing for enemies to try to track you, especially at close range. And if you're trying to get in close to you, shotguns, blink is great for that. For arc blade, probably want to go with Razor's Edge for the destructive wave across the ground. Helps you get enemies just ahead of you, or if you're super about to run out, activate it, get them at range. Vanish could be useful, but I have found people in Osiris pay close attention to where people are. They hear you go into your super, they hear you disappear, and they're watching for invisible enemies trying to flank them, and they're pretty good with noticing that. It can be helpful just to close the gap a little bit, so it's not horrible, but depending on the people you're facing, it might end up not really being that much of a help, whereas Razor's Edge might end up being a better option. For Blink Strike, if you're gonna get a lot of melee kills from behind in Trials, then that team's horrible. It's unlikely you'll be able to sneak up behind people and get those backstab kills that much. Escape Artist, again, if you're meleeing someone in Trials of Osiris, it's unlikely that the invisibility will end up being a huge bonus. Now I'd probably just go with Fast Twitch, just get the Blink Strike back fast, that way if you need it again you have it. I went into armor and recovery again. Fleet-footed, I'm not really worried about agility as much, whereas quick draw is a great weapons ready immediately. That's extremely useful for gunfights. And then Shadowjack I'd only use if you really want to go into invisibility. If you're going to go vanish and stalker and stuff, and you're really going to try to be invisible a lot of the time. But just know that that doesn't usually work out as well in Trials of Osiris, because it's 3v3 and people pay attention quite a bit. Way the Fearless, just again for the most armor and recovery combo. And then third thing, Encore, I don't really see. Arc Blade lasts long enough, especially with only 3 people on the enemy team, that you don't need to extend it by getting a kill. Again, I wouldn't go with invisibility, all that crazy, and I would honestly always recommend going with Hungering Blade, because you don't want to kill the first guy with Arc Blade, but because he shotguns you and his team started shooting at you, you're nearly dead and you don't get any other kills with it. That's a waste of your super. You have Hungering Blade on, as soon as you get that kill, you're back to full health and shield, everything like that, and you can go get the rest of their team and wipe their whole team. And that's honestly the best thing I found with that. For exotics, the Mask of the Third Man is not bad for decreasing the super energy, make it last a little bit longer. But Chest of Alpha is pretty good for team play. Someone on your team really should have that leveled up and everything. The Arc Bolt Grenade chains further. It can be sort of helpful, but I don't feel like it's that great. So I'd probably recommend either using your Mask of Third Man, Mask of the Third Man, or the Chest of Alpha Lupi. Going to the Gunslinger class, which I actually prefer a little bit more, just because it's more reliable in Trials for getting kills out of your super, whereas Blade Dancer, sometimes you try to get close and they kill you before you get close, or they see you when you're invisible trying to sneak around and flank them and they gun you down. But Gunslinger, just because of how it is, it's a lot easier to get those guaranteed use out of it. For grenades, the Trip Mine is good, and if you can hit people with it, it's going to do a lot of damage, and that's fine. But if you don't hit someone with it, they really should be backing up, and a lot of times I would just shoot the grenade and don't have to worry about it anymore. So it's kind of nice almost to have the Incendiary Grenade, just because you can bounce around corners to get enemies when they're rushing up on you, and that lingering damage is always nice. It helps slow down the recovery and everything for them. For the jump, probably just go with triple jump for that. Golden Gun, I would say go with Gunfighter, just to get it more often. You want to make sure you want to use it as fast as you can, as much as you can, help out your team. once you have Golden Gun up, and if you have time, kind of like with the Defender class, like if you already charge your bubble, you don't need the fast cooldown for your bubble. So like once you get, you know, Golden Gun ready, you don't need the cooldown for it, so you could go into Combustion or Deadeye. Honestly, I haven't really had a problem with the accuracy of Golden Gun at, you know, a lot of ranges. And so, I mean, if you want Combustion or you want the accuracy, it's really a toss-up, because I mean, a lot of times they're not going to be super close that Combustion will really affect anything, but then again, I don't really feel like Golden Gun even needs any increased accuracy. For Throwing Knife, I would go with Incendiary Blade. Burn damage is always helpful. It's always helpful. Knife Juggler, not likely to get a lot of precision kills with throwing knives. And then extending your Golden Gun with getting kills with throwing knives. I mean, if you have your Golden Gun, you should use it. There's 3 people, 3 shots. You should be getting all 3 of them with that. I don't really see you using this at all in PvP, especially in Trials. So, Incendiary Blade. Went into Armor and Recovery. Out of these 3 perks, Scavenge is pretty much the only one that actually would be useful. And it's actually pretty useful if you ever grab the ammos. You get reduced cooldown for your grenade throwing knife, which is helpful. Because Keyhole over penetrating, it's 3 people, there's 3 shots. It shouldn't be that hard to get them. And then Gunslinger's Trance, you're not going to be getting that many precision kills in a single round for this to stack to any effect. Then again, Armor and Recovery. And then Chain of Woe, again, you're not going to get that many kills in a round probably for it to stack to any effect. Over the Horizon, I haven't really found the range Golden Gun to be that bad, although it does add a little bit to recovery, so if you wanted that. And then Gambler's Dagger, if you're good with throwing knives, grab another one. If you're not, you can always go with the range for Golden Gun, which adds a little bit of recovery. But if you like throwing knives and you can get them with the burn, then having 2 of them isn't bad at all. Just, you know, burn your enemies. And I wouldn't recommend the Symbiote Helmet, just because you only need 3 shots to kill everyone on the enemy team. I mean, unless you think you're going to miss a shot with it. But in that case, maybe you shouldn't be using Golden Gun if you're not that comfortable with it or not that confident in your abilities to get hits with it. And I would honestly recommend going with Trest of Alpha Lupi on this guy. And I know there you can have the gauntlets that extend the time for the Trip Mine Grenade, but again, unless you hit someone with it and it detonates immediately, they shouldn't ever have to worry about it. Just back up, take a shot, and it's gone. I don't know why people sometimes leave them around and then accidentally get knocked into them or accidentally brush up against them and get killed by them. So then don't really expect them to be doing stupid things like that, especially in Trials. So that's the overall builds for each of the subclasses for Hunter that I would suggest for Trials of Osiris. I would probably go with Gunslinger over Blade Dancer just because I feel like it's more reliable in the super getting kills. But other than that, hope that helps you with your trials, and thanks for watching.